Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 10th July 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol TRSV Nectar NECTAR Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in the vlog is no exception to that rule. It is actually a mere continuation of what we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous videos. So let us continue with our topic for today. There is a saying in English. It is Nemesis strikes even the most wary transgressor. There is another saying. He, that is God, grindeth slow, but he grindeth small. We should remember these two proverbs before proceeding further in this video. In this video, we will talk about a few case histories which will vouch for the authenticity of these two sayings. The first, there are there was a particular very notorious underworld don called Vardharaja Mudarya alias Vardhabai, who ruled the underworld in Mumbai, which was then Bombay, in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. He was known to be ruling a particular area called Dharavi, Antop Hill, Sayan, Matunga, and Koliwala. This guy had some very dependable underlings with him who helped him run his underworld empire. One of such guys was known as Nemesis Krishnan, one guy who handled the extortion rackets of a place called Vikroli. This guy was the ruler of the fiefdom of Vikroli. But underworld is rife with rivalry and gang war. In Vikroli, this Krishnan came across another rival who had a tiff with Krishnan. This man killed Krishnan in a knife or gunfight. This Krishnan had one son who we will also call as Junior Krishnan. This Junior Krishnan vowed to seek vengeance for the murder of his own father. This guy did some fielding for the next few years, and one day he confronted that rival. This Junior Krishnan killed the rival who had originally killed Junior Krishnan's father, the original Krishnan. Now, this Junior Krishnan was wanted for the murder by the Bombay police. This Krishnan went to Vardhabhai, who suggested that because the empire was now almost in crumbles, this Junior Krishnan should vanish in thin air. This Junior Krishnan relocated to some foreign country from where he ultimately settled down in Hong Kong in China. This Junior Krishnan was already married by then. When he settled down in Hong Kong, nobody in Hong Kong or China knew about the true identity of this Junior Krishnan. This guy settled down comfortably to a comfortable middle class or wealthy life in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, the Bombay police, which was in search of this culprit, gave his fingerprints and details to the Interpol, that is International Police, because it suspected that this Junior Krishnan had vanished without a sight to some foreign country, though they did not know which it was. Years passed. By then, this Junior Krishnan, whose family hardly knew about his past, was blessed with a daughter. This daughter grew up in Hong Kong, blissfully unaware of her own father's dark past. This girl was a brilliant student. Slowly she graduated and then she wanted to become a doctor. She wanted to study medicine in America. By this time, 20 years had passed. Junior Krishnan probably hoped that by now the whole world, including Bombay police, would have forgotten about him. Now, when this girl said she wanted to study medicine, he had to come with his daughter to the city or country of Singapore to have his documents prepared for the sake of his daughter's migrating to America. When he went there, he contacted the authorities and began preparing for the making of important documents for his daughter to go to America to study medicine. While the authorities were at it, there was a clause that this girl's parents should also register their own identities, records, and fingerprints, DNA, etc. This was to protect the girl from any calamity or disaster in future. They needed DNA, etc., so that in the case of some medical emergency, this girl could get the required medicines, treatment, blood, etc. Unsuspectingly, Junior Krishnan gave his own fingerprints to the authorities. A few minutes passed, and then one authority came to Junior Krishnan and asked him blandly, "What is your name?" Junior Krishnan gave this man his own alias Hong Kong name. That is the alias that he was using to survive in Hong Kong. The authority repeated, "No, I want to know your real name." Even this guy's daughter and wife did not know about Junior Krishnan's real identity till then. This Junior Krishnan sheepishly disclosed his real name and past. These fingerprints, which the Bombay police had already given to Interpol, were being used to track down this culprit who had vanished in thin air from Bombay following a particular gang war murder. The Interpol had passed on this information to the Singapore authorities to help in the migration and immigration process of Indians and other citizens. Immediately, the authorities in Singapore called the local police and had Krishnan arrested, that is, Junior Krishnan arrested. The dumbfounded and stunned girl was given her passport and her visa and was asked to proceed to America without her own father. The father was arrested and put in a local police station, and the Bombay authorities in the police department were informed that they had ultimately tracked down this Junior Krishnan. The Bombay police was very happy. It came to Singapore, arrested this Junior Krishnan, took him in their own fold, and took him back to Bombay. Meanwhile, probably this guy's wife was still waiting for news in Hong Kong. While the daughter went to America to study medicine, the father was brought to Bombay, put behind bars, tried, and then sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder that he had committed either in the late 70s or early 80s of the 20th century. This guy is now languishing at the age of 70 or so in a Bombay or Maharashtra prison. He is certainly going to die there. This shows how God grindeth slow, but he grindeth small. Nemesis had struck this very wary transgressor in spite of his precautions, caution, intelligence, and fake identity. Similarly, the same Don Vardaraja Udayar had another underling who Vardaraja Mudaliar fatherly advised to vanish from Bombay for good. This guy relocated to Malaysia, where he settled down with the local South Indian community. Here he started his own business with his ill-gotten gains. He became a small-time businessman with a grocery shop or some other shop and settled down to a comfortable life along with his own family. The family, though the wife knew about this guy's past, actually thought that the world, including the Bombay police, had forgotten him for good. However, this guy, whose name was probably Ganesh, had his nemesis come back to him. When this guy was in his early 70s, I repeat, early 70s, he was forced to pay for all his crimes that he had made when he was in his late 20s or early 30s. How this happened? This happened because of another underworld gangster called Chota Rajan, who had a tiff with another don called Daud Ibrahim Kaskar. This Chota Rajan left his current status as a Dubai citizen and relocated to the same Malaysia. This Chota Rajan, who had a lot of money, needed some support. He was informed by his own people that there was one Bombay gangster called Ganeshan who had relocated to Malaysia years ago and settled down there. Rajan contacted this Ganesh. Ganeshan accepted Chota Rajan as a friend and assured him of all help without blissfully knowing that the Bombay police and the Indian authorities were tracking Chota Rajan's whereabouts because this Chota Rajan was wanted for several crimes in India. When they did so, they were intrigued by a fact that this very Chota Rajan, who was a very powerful don, had sought help from some guy who was in Malaysia and who was also an Indian. They were intrigued as to who this person could be. So they began investigating about this man. And then they found that this man was none other than one of the underlings of the dreaded Don Varadaraja Mudaliar, and he had relocated to Malaysia in the year 1981. Everyone had actually forgotten about him. This guy could have been a powerful gangster then, but because he had now settled down in a foreign country, nobody had bothered to track him down. But now Nemesis struck him in such a way that another gangster who hardly knew this gangster personally pointed his finger at this guy because this guy had assured a lot of help to this wanted new gangster called Chota Rajan. The Bombay police pounced on this information and informed the Malaysian authorities, who nabbed this businessman or this respectable citizen of Malaysia about whom no one knew that he was none other than a most wanted gangster and criminal and underling of a famous notorious don called Vardaraja Mudalya. This shows that divine retribution or nemesis strikes the most unsuspecting person who lays back assured that he will never be touched by nemesis. This can happen to female wanted gangsters also. So we should remember this proverb. He, that is divine, the divinity, grindeth slow, but it grindeth small. It took so long to collar this person, but finally it did at a time when it could punish this person maximum for the crimes he had committed as an early and a young individual or adult. Actually, if this guy had been caught as a youngster in India, he could probably have been released by now because at that time imprisonment of a lifetime was considered to be either 12 years or 14 years. But when the same person was caught, now the laws had changed. Now, life imprisonment means imprisonment for life. That is, the convict will have to die in prison. This man, who could have accepted punishment before and got released officially, is now languishing for life in a prison in Maharashtra, India. This is one lesson that we all should learn. We should never do anything wrong in our younger age, which will catch up with us at a very old age when we are totally or almost incapacitated and when we cannot fight back. We should always do either good in our younger days or do nothing wrong during our younger days. This will assure us either a very good life or at least a comfortable, sedentary, normal life. Our ultimate aim is to be delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For that, we need self realization and liberation, and all this is possible only if our karma and deeds are really good. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular matter. Please give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, and ideas so that I may keep blending it with my other videos for the sake of this society. Before concluding, I would wish to inform you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.